Today I brought with me two things that you may not know what they are. The first one are these little mustard seeds. See how tiny they are? They're the smallest seeds that I've seen. I've also got some yeast here, and the yeast comes in very small packets. Even though both these things are very small, yet in our early word today, the mustard seed and the yeast are used by Jesus to describe what the kingdom of heaven is like. Now Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it's the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it's the largest of trees, becomes a tree that the birds come and nest in its branches. What can we learn from the mustard seed? Well, I think we can learn that we're never too small to be important in God's eyes. You and I might be small, but we can help to show God's love by being kind and caring and loving to others. Now, some of you may not know what yeast does. Do you know what happens when a tiny amount of yeast is mixed with water and flour and salt and a little bit of sugar? The yeast spreads throughout the mixture and becomes a dough. And the dough rises and has an effect on everything. Becomes soft, fluffy and delicious bread. Yes, the yeast has an effect on everything. Just from one tiny piece of yeast, that's what happens. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman uses and mixes in with 3 batches of flour until the dough rises. Now that's what Jesus wants us to do. He wants us to mix with others and to help and show kindness and love and change the world around us to make it better. Now Jesus' ministry started with only Jesus and 12 helpers in Galilee, but it spread throughout the whole world. Just like a small amount of yeast affects the entire loaf, the disciples of Jesus have affected the entire world. The nature of yeast is to grow and change whatever it contacts. When we accept Jesus, we show his love. His love grows in our hearts and changes us from the inside out. As Jesus changes lives, it changes the entire world. You may be small, but just like the mustard seed and the yeast, you are important to God. Let's have a prayer now. Dear Father, help us to remember that you can use even the smallest of us to help to grow your love, to show your love to others in the world and make the world a better place. Amen.